And my talk today is living on the inner edge. So last week I talked about being open at the top and to live intentionally this year with consciousness first, heart first. If we lead with that, we can birth a new, what I call spiritual metabolism. Because I believe that we're on the edge of a transformation, both individually and collectively. And this really calls us each to do our inner work. Living on the inner edge. Got to climb that mountain. But you know, the edge is not a limit, it's a threshold. Think about that. It's a threshold where we can begin to ask ourselves, where am I being invited to stretch beyond my fears and self-judgments into a deeper knowing and possibilities for myself and for the world? We can ask this question a lot. What is possible here? Because that opens the door. And sometimes we think of the edge as a cliff, but it's actually not something we're falling from, but a place to begin. A new idea, a new thought, a quiet decision, a step we can take that will change the world. We are going to explore the edges of our inner world and acknowledge that there is discomfort often, but that can also be the birthplace of growth and opportunity for each of us. So can we be available to who and what we truly are and to celebrate the radiant cosmic love of the divine within? Yeah, thank you. Come on, guys. Dare to be aware. I dare you. I dare you to be aware of who you are in the divine mind. So today we're going to take our spiritual vitamins. Are you ready? Yes. Big old poop. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That is, Ernest Holmes' theme, right? Change your thinking, change your life. So let's affirm, I meet my inner edge with courage, curiosity, and compassion. I meet my inner edge with courage, curiosity, and compassion. So living on the inner edge is about meeting that tension between who we think we are and who we really are. Has anybody ever said to you, who do you think you are? Oh, yeah. Well, they were actually giving you a gift. Because we can fiercely cling to our private sense of self, even as life invites us to step beyond that. That inner edge, the boundary between the familiar and the unknown, often feels uncomfortable because it challenges our self-judgments, our comfort zones, and those stories we tend to tell about ourselves. Dr. Holmes, Ernest Holmes, our founder, reminds us that while human standards shift and falter, the standard of spirit is always perfection. You know, life is what I call a cosmic dance. We remember, we forget. I do that. I'll speak for myself. Maybe not you. I remember who I am, and then I forget. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I remember who I am, and then I forget. Yes. It's a little dance, right? So the idea of involution turning inward and evolution expressing ourselves outward highlight that dynamic interplay between our inner transformation and outer change. Science of Mind teaches us that our true nature is already whole. W-H-O-L-E. It's already perfect, even if we don't believe it. Oh, bless our hearts. To live on the inner edge is to allow that excellence to seep into the cracks of our self-perception, softening our judgment and expanding our acceptance of possibilities for our life. We have to release our grip on our life and open to a greater identity. Connect to that part of us that sees ourselves as Spirit sees us. I meet my inner edge with courage, curiosity, and compassion. Let's say that.
I meet my inner edge with courage, curiosity, and compassion.
What if you said that every morning when you got out of bed? I meet this day with courage, curiosity, and compassion, because we don't have to know how we're going to make that happen, but we have to make it welcome. We have to be that match vibrationally to what it is we're wanting. I know you all know that, but I have to say it again. So we all have an inner edge, that point where our self-perception meets that deeper truth. And sometimes that edge feels like friction because we have self-doubt, criticism, and fear of not being enough. I had that the other day. It came up again. I thought I had pulled that weed of not being enough. Does anybody ever feel that way? Or maybe it's just me. It's just me.
Oh, wow.
So what if we approach that inner edge not in fear, but as an invitation to again become curious and hold some compassion for ourselves? Science of Mind reminds us that Spirit knows only perfection. I'll say that again. And this isn't a call to pretend that we're flawless. It's a call to see ourselves through a lens, the lens of the divine wholeness. And when we align our thinking with Spirit, we begin to dissolve those harsh, shifting criticisms of ourselves. And we rest in that deeper, unchanging truth that we are already enough. Oh, I am already enough, just as I am, right now in this moment. You know, one of my teachers a long time ago gave me a phrase that I've used often. When I beat myself up about not doing it right, oops, a slip in my magnificence. Oops, a slip in my magnificence. I invite you to steal that one from me. It's a really good one because does anybody, don't raise your hands, but have you ever beat yourself up about something that you said or done? No. Right. Oh, no. So try that. Oops. A blip in my magnificence. Because we're human. Often we stretch into something beyond ourselves and then we run right back to what's familiar. So living on the inner edge means to be willing to stay in that in-between place, maybe a little bit longer, and trust, have faith that the walls that once kept us safe may now be the very walls that are keeping us small and restricted. This also calls us, I believe, to be present to what we're feeling, not to push it away. So if we're willing to live on the inner edge, we have to go within and encourage ourselves to explore those edges of our beliefs and our inner world. And are they serving us? Ernest Holmes said we should think of our lives as an increasing awareness, an ever-growing and expanding consciousness, a never-ceasing progress of individual and collective evolution. May I trust the wisdom already moving through me. Think about that. May I trust the wisdom that is already moving through me. Because we can't live on the inner edge of possibilities when we're carrying baggage. Remember my January talk? There will be no baggage on this flight. 2026, there is no baggage on this flight. We're all taking off into a new year. There is no baggage. So there's a story about two monks who encounter a woman struggling to cross a muddy river. And despite their vows not to touch women, the elder monk picks up the woman and carries her across the muddy river, which angers the younger monk. Hours later, the younger monk is still angry and complaining about this broken rule. The elder monk calmly replies to him, I set her down on the other side of the river hours ago. Why are you still carrying her? I love that story. So it emphasizes letting go of past burdens and mental baggage, allowing us to live on the edge without being weighed down by emotional reactions and past limiting beliefs. It's like those mysterious leftovers in your refrigerator. You ever had those? Well, some of us have mysterious leftovers in our consciousness. Old beliefs, old habits that just don't serve us anymore. So when we live on the edge, inner edge, we can focus on embracing uncertainty, begin to cultivate mindfulness, and find wisdom in the uncomfortable situations that we might be experiencing. Turn it over to the higher power that is within you, around you, and through you. And it involves leaning into fear and emotional intensity with compassion, rather than running away. I don't know about you, but I've run away a lot in my life from things. Because then, if we hold it in compassion, it fosters personal growth and transformation. So can we embrace discomfort? Instead of numbing or avoiding uncomfortable situations, can we stay present? Use mindfulness to navigate our fear, our grief. I've been grieving a lot these last few weeks about what I see out there. But I'm mindful of that. Can I practice recognizing what I am clinging to and be willing to let go? Let go of my attachment to being right. We can remain fully present, I believe, at moments of change and tension, if we choose. There's always a choice. Rather than just succumbing to our emotional stories and our upsets, we can rise above that. That's where we do that open at the top that I talked about. So when we're facing the cliff edge of an uncertain transformation, self-compassion is critical to handle that fear that will arise. So I invite you to take a breath with me. And if it's comfortable, just close your eyes for a moment. And drop into your heart space. Take a slow, intentional breath, not to clear your mind, but to arrive fully in your body. Breathe in. Breathe out. Again, just arriving fully in your body. Breathe in. Breathe out. And notice what self-judgment or fear about the edge arises in you. Just notice. And instead of fighting it or letting it define you, pause. And remember the acronym we have here, STOP. S, stop. T, take a breath. O, observe yourself as soul, a radiant point of light. And breathe from that place. P, proceed into your day. And ask yourself, what is the truth beyond my judgments and fears? What part of myself am I ready to welcome home? And speak a gentle affirmation to yourself quietly. I am whole, I am enough, I am loved. I am whole, I am enough, I am loved. I am whole, I am enough, I am loved. Right now, in this moment. And gently come back and open your eyes. God's call. So I invite you this week to choose one small practice, like writing yourself a note of encouragement, looking in the mirror with kindness, forgiving yourself for something you've been holding on to. Because each act of compassion moves you closer to the deep self-acceptance that Spirit already knows is yours. Are you willing to do that? Also work with a practitioner this week, or call me. Sandy's here today in the prayer room after service, so sit with her for a few minutes and get a beautiful prayer to support you this week. We're here for you. We're all in this together. Have you noticed? I meet my inner edge with courage, curiosity, and compassion.
I meet my inner edge with courage, curiosity, and compassion.
And again, you don't have to know how you're going to make all that happen, but you're making it welcome. That's what's important. So give your neighbors a high five.